Guys, I got another one for you from Truck Masters here. Pretty excited about it. So it came in the mail. It's my EGR delete kit. Just open the box, but this is going to be more or less your like unboxing / install video. So what do we got here? We got the like the intake tube here. It's going to replace the EGR, of course. I did some research on this one. And this is going to be your like low budget Duramax on a budget guy. Is basically who I am. You know, if you watch some of my other videos, you'll definitely tell. So, but you know, I didn't want to go out there and spend $500 or $600 on an EGR delete kit. I actually spent $180 on this thing. So, let's take a look at it here. It actually looks pretty good. It's made by, let's see here if we can get a shot of this, Evergreen. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Evergreen. But yeah, I mean, if you were to look at both parts, I mean, between like the Sinister and the Evergreen, I guess you will. There's also Rudy's EGR deletes. They look the same. I mean, you're getting the same parts. I did read something online about it not matching up with the bolts, I guess within the engine compartment. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see once we do the install. Let's see here. It comes with a. I think this is a 5/8 silicone hose, and this is actually going to replace your EGR cooler, which is going to be great. Finally rip that piece of crap out of there. It says Tokyo on it too, so yeah, I got to get that out of the engine. So we got now also with this being said, I'm not for sure yet, but they said that this Evergreen cheapo EGR delete kit here, this right here actually is too short. So we'll see once we actually get it there, once we get to that point. Let's see here. It comes with the plate, you know, for the EGR cooler here to block that off. Thing's pretty heavy duty actually, pretty thick. So we'll see how that goes on. All right, I'm not going to go into this little baggie, but here's all your hardware. Yeah, a bunch of stuff I don't want to go through, talk about. So, and then your silicone gasket maker comes with that as well. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one right here. We'll see how this turns out. I've been waiting to rip that thing out of my Duramax for a while. Oh, by the way, you can see on the title of it. Basically, I'm doing this on my 2007 Chevy Silverado classic body style LBZ, and this will also go for the 2006 to 2007 LBZ. But you know, the LLYs, even the LMMs. I don't know about the LMLs, but it should pretty much be about the same. I don't know about the tools that you'll need and whatnot, but you know, they're probably not going to correlate with that. But yeah, hey, I'm pretty excited about this one. So, all right. So first, what you want to do is disconnect your batteries and drain your coolant, of course, because once you pull that EGR cooler, it's going to drain everywhere. So make sure you do that. Next, what you want to do is remove the intake resonator by loosening the hose clamps and support bolts, which would be basically right here would be the hose clamp. But as you can tell, I capped it off. But you'll have the big resonator intake right here on the top. So go ahead and just loosen that little connector or that little hose clamp right here, and then take off your bolt here. So it looks like a hex bolt. I don't know the exact size. So go ahead and take that off. All right, so first what we're going to do is we're going to remove this intake with a flathead screwdriver. So go ahead and loosen these little clamps here. You want to make sure that you take out the mass airflow sensor as well. All right, I'm going to be removing the mass airflow sensor. Looks like 2 screws right on the top. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just remove your intake. All right, next what you're going to do after you got the intake off is I did a PVC reroute right here, but basically you want to go ahead and take that hose off right here because it's actually going to interfere with the coolant tube, which is right back here. see what I'm doing here. So go ahead and just take that off. It's going to be a 10 millimeter. All right, so once you take out that tube right there, you want to go ahead and, like I said, I did a PVC reroute, but another 10 millimeter bolt right on the bottom. Man, all this crap's in the way. It's kind of hard to get to. What I did is I took the intercooler pipe off, actually slid that off, and there's another 10 millimeter bolt on that side you're going to want to take off as well. So basically that whole piece right here, that all needs to go. So make sure you pull that as well so it's out of the way. What I want to do is I do these clips. It's a 10 millimeter right here. Just plugs right out like that. What I'm gonna do is remove these bolts right here. They go on the plastic covering. Let's see here. I am using a T30 to pull that, and it looks like it's working. Just to break them, they're actually pretty tight. You see, I'll go ahead and just power drill them out now. All right, once you remove those, if you want to follow that plastic cover all the way down, you're going to have a little plastic clip right here you're going to want to pull off here. All right, so we got that off. All right, next, 10 millimeter. There's another bolt here you want to take out. It looks like it's another hold down for all these wiring harnesses. There's a lot of little hold downs and zip ties here, so just be patient. Yep, see. Sorry the video's a little dark, guys. And looks like you just pull that right out. Yep, so after that, it just pulls right out. Let's see here. This is going to be fun trying to pull this EGR out with this wiring harness in the way. So just be patient. Alright, there's a little hose clamp just around the mouthpiece in the turbo. I'm just loosening that with a flathead screwdriver, just so I can loosen this piece up here. Kind of move that out of the way, that way I can get to these bolts here. Two here, two here, and then let me see here, two on the other side, and that should pull it. Oh yeah, I gotta pull this off too here. That shouldn't be too hard though. These are just little clips right here. I'll get to that later though. This one looks a little tricky. Sorry, I'll just strip it if I'm not careful. It's kind of an awkward position. I might have to get the swivel, I'm not sure. Yeah. There we go. Try not to lose these. If you have a magnet, it's really going to be helpful. I'm very clumsy when I work on stuff, and
it's going pretty smooth. We'll see. Yeah, it's probably gotta be a guys that you loosen this mouthpiece of the turtle. Pretty easy when you can move this thing around to get to some of these tight areas.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just, the flathead, I just went ahead and just pried it out. There's a little clip right here. You can go ahead and just pull that off. Once you've removed those nuts and bolts that go around, you want to make sure that you disconnect this pipe right here. And yeah, it's kind of tight. So I got an 11mm wrench, ratchet wrench, and this is the hose clamp. You really gotta, if you can see what I'm talking about. It's all covered in oil, and that's another reason why I'm trying to do this job, because this is disgusting. So yeah. So go ahead and ratchet that off. Once you've removed those nuts and bolts that go around, you want to make sure that you disconnect this pipe right here. And yeah, it's kind of tight. So I got an 11mm wrench, ratchet wrench, and this is the hose clamp. You really gotta, if you can see what I'm talking about. It's all covered in oil, and that's another reason why I'm trying to do this job, because this is disgusting. So yeah. So go ahead and ratchet that off. Alright, so basically, once I took that little clip off, that thing right there, kind of got hung up here. You see that nut right there, or that bolt? Sorry. Right here. 12mm. Pull that thing. Alright, I got it out finally. Whew, that sucked. Yeah, we have a problem. You see why we do these EGR deletes? That is absolutely disgusting. I mean, that is bad, guys. Alright, so we got that done. Or we got that part out of the way. Looks like we got, yeah guys, that's just absolutely clogged up. That is nasty. Alright, but anyways, we got that out of the way. Thank God. Looks like we got these metal gaskets right here. And then right behind that is the cooler that we're going to be taking out. There we go. Next, what you want to do is take off the two bolts on the top and bottom. They're both 12mm. I already installed the EGR blocking plate 2 years ago, so these aren't as tight, but still it's a pain in the butt to get this off. What I can suggest to you, because this could turn into a 2-hour job just trying to pull these two nuts, to be honest with you, is go ahead and get yourself, if you don't already have one, a swivel wrench or ratchet, and a 12mm socket that attaches to it, of course. And what I did for this top bolt here is I put the ratchet on there and I just cheater piped it and broke it loose that way. So I'm able to do it that way. Now this bottom one is that you're not going to be so lucky with these swivels. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so what you're going to need is an extension, say about a 2-inch extension attached to it. And I apologize for the camera angles, guys. This This isn't very easy, so. But you want to take that, put it on the very bottom. Now this is behind the downpipe from the turbo where it's hitting, right there, so you get an idea. Alright, so I got that loose. This is a tough one, guys. But basically, downpipe, where my finger is, that's the turbo. And the best way to actually get this thing off is to go ahead and just pull that heat shield off the top of that turbo. That way you got plenty of room in the back to be able to pull these two nuts. Alright. You can actually see what I'm up to here. You see that? That's what I'm doing. Alright, so I got it. You see where I'm getting at? See where my hand is back here? It is a tough one. Very tough to get out. But if you use my method, you should be fine. So there's two different ways. There's all kinds of different ways to pull those two bolts. I'm sure there's a few YouTube videos out there, some reviews. But these nuts are tough to get off. I'll tell you what. Look, you can kind of tell I've already kind of stripped that one a little bit, but I can reuse it. Alright, here's the other side. Tell you what though, these little swivel ratchet wrenches really come in handy. There it is. We got it loose. Alright, once you got that plate off, or once you got those two nuts off the back, which is going to be, like I said, it's going to be your hardest part of the job there. You're going to want to use the 9/16 socket. I'm going to go ahead and just use an extension. And there's two bolts for the EGR cooler right here by the alternator that you're going to want to get off on here. Alright. There you go. There it is. There's one. And here's number two. There it is. You see that bracket right there, that hold down? It comes down, and then there's like this little wiring harness that goes right here, and then down to this little guy right here, right next to it. You want to pull this right here. That's actually holding, because I was having a hard time trying to figure out why this wouldn't budge, and that hold down right there. You want to pull that off. It's a tough one to get out. Alright, there it is right there. Okay, so don't forget you have the coolant hose in the back side right here that you got to disconnect, of course. And you also have one right here on the bottom that you have to disconnect, and this bottom one is actually what's going to replace the coolant hose that came with the EGR delete kit. You can see goes all the way down there. You want to disconnect the bottom one as well, pull those out, and then you're going to run that line from the bottom all the way up to the firewall. Okay, once you've disconnected the two coolant hoses on the side, you're going to want to take off this top bolt, which I should have done earlier. Let me get to it. Right there. It's a I just went ahead and took it off right now. It's a 14 millimeter. You don't want to go ahead and take that out. Alright, and it looks just like this. So I'll go ahead and pull that out. It should loosen your EGR cooler. Alright, bear with me guys, I'm going to try to pull this out. There's that old blocker plate right there. Don't need that no more. So it's looking like push these towards the engine, these wiring harnesses, and yeah, see how I got that. Oh gosh. Okay, there it is. Okay, pulling it out wasn't too bad. I had my own little method of doing it. But basically what I did is I took the cooler, and once I slid it back, I pulled these back like that. And then at the same time, once I pulled it back, I picked it up and then pushed it back into the firewall so I can pull these guys back and then pull it over. So that's how I did it. And of course, yeah, you will be leaking some radiator fluid. Okay, so here they are. Now, to be honest with you, me just trying to figure everything out here. I'm not a mechanic by no means. So, you know, I'm just kind of doing this off of, just on my own little techniques and methods and whatnot. But, yeah, this cooler was probably the hardest thing to pull out. That's got to be the hardest part about the job here, I think. But, yeah. You guys got to change these things out as soon as possible. Now, it's 150,000 miles. That's what did it right there. Oh, I didn't get this part right here, but I just cut it off, man. I could not get to the back of that clamp to pull it. So I went ahead and just I actually just took a drywall knife, believe it or not. It worked perfect. Just sawed that thing off. So there you go, Tokyo radiator. Pretty dumb, pretty stupid. All right, let's keep working. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is take this hose that we disconnected off the cooler, that line right there, that right behind it, that yellow thing, that's actually that connects to it, it's plastic. So be very careful when you pull, when you actually take this hose off, that you're not bending it up and down to try to pull it out, because you could break it. It's not fun trying to replace one of those. So, and it is a dealer part too, so yeah, so have fun trying to replace that. Alright, blocking plate install time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse that old gasket and put this, go ahead and match this plate now. I'm going to take that bolt and it's going to go behind like that. And then basically this piece right here was already threaded. This blocking plate's already threaded, so really it's pretty simple, guys. I mean, really you're just going to go ahead and match it up and thread it in by hand. Cut the bolts off. Okay, now we're going to install the hose. Alright, going in. Blocker plate. And then you see that little orangish deal right there? That's where you're going to want to install it. Right there on the firewall. And then it's going to plug into, there's a fuel rail. And you're going to want to go right right where my finger is, right there. All right. All right, to the firewall. I guess it wasn't shorter. There it goes. It fits. Awesome. All right. Now we're gonna install the intake tube. Pretty excited about that. With the kit, these Allen wrenches or Allen bolts, if you will, are gonna actually go in there, right there. But there's this one right here that needs to come out. What you're gonna need for that is a 6mm small ratchet. So make sure you get this out. Okay. And now I'm going to install this gasket maker on the intake tube. Okay. Okay, so what I'm noticing so far, the bolts that go right here, they do line up, but get a shot of that. Where's it at? That one does not line up. This one in the back does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just bolt this side down and not bolt this side down. Just because it doesn't line up right here. So I don't think it should be fine either way though. I mean, it's still gonna hold down once I bolt this down. So, and then I still haven't tightened it down here. But other than that, pretty much I'm gonna bolt it down here, tighten these 2 screws, and button everything up, and I should be good to go. Okay, I finally got the intake tube on. One thing I noticed, this back bolt right here. Let me see where my finger is right here. That one, it took a while to, believe it or not, it took a while to actually get that thing on. It just really, it wasn't lining up straight. But once I got it on, I was good. But yeah, I did have to keep those loose. Those 2 bolts right here, 1 and 2, right there, in order to be able to bolt that down. Now the other side, I'm not even gonna bolt it down. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one open. It's just not lining up correctly. But hey, you get what you pay for, right? Don't forget to tighten your donut clamp right there, and your sensor, of course. Go ahead and put that back on the intake, and you know, put that bolt back on. But as far as foot-pounds of torque and all that, I have no idea. I just tightened the crap out of them, to be honest with you. Just be careful on the, I think the only thing that I was really more concerned about with tightening down was that silicone hose that went to the firewall, because there's that plastic coating around that fitting once you plug it in. And, you know, yes, I tightened that little clamp back there on there, that little clamp on there. I can't focus on it. I did tighten that down, but I just don't tighten it too tight to where you crush the plastic inside of it. That's very important. So, and then of course down here, when you tighten that, you know, this piece right here, you don't want to crush it. So just make sure it's suction to it. You know, it's tight enough to where, you know, you feel that, you know, basically what I'm saying is when you tighten that thing down, you start hearing cracks and, you know, just stop. You're getting too far. So we don't want any leaks whatsoever in our system. It's very important. Don't forget to install your, of course, your intake and your mass airflow sensor. And while you have the mass airflow sensor out, it might be a good idea to hit it up with some of that cleaner as well. It's a mass airflow sensor cleaner. And let's go ahead and get this out. I already went ahead and did it, but basically you want to spray right inside there. Right there is where you want to get it. Just hit it up nice and good, let it dry for a little bit, put her back in there. Okay, so everything's installed back in the truck, and yeah, she looks pretty good. Can't wait to see how it performs. Hopefully everything's sealed correctly, no leaks, but we'll find out. Alright guys, overall it wasn't too bad. You know, I had a few hiccups just trying to figure things out. I had absolutely zero instructions that came with this kit. You know, again, very inexpensive, a whole lot cheaper than a Sinister EGR full delete kit for a Duramax LBZ. This crap's out of my truck. I'm thrilled. It's been a while, a long time coming. I've been wanting to get rid of this stuff. So it was a 4-hour job. Definitely worth the time and investment. So, you know, if you decide to do something like this, you know, hopefully this helped. I apologize for some of the camera, you know, shakiness, if you will. I'm not a cameraman by no means. But hey, you know, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.